right, welcome to Talk Commerce, Japhet. Why don't you introduce
Hey,
yourself and introduce yourself for our listeners?
yeah, for sure. Okay, so I am Japhet. I am from Mexico. I was working on several stores here in Mexico for e-commerce, and I am a Magento developer. Now I am a Vtex developer, and I know a lot of platforms around the system, but this is mainly my profile.
Great, yeah, good, yeah, and we've known each other for a long time. In fact, for the people listeners,
Oh my gosh!
I have my shirt on from Mage
the,
Titans,
the
the
Mage
first one we did in
Titans.
2017. Yeah,
Yes,
so that was
yes,
great.
yes, yes.
Hoping,
Mine disappear. All the print on my shirt disappears
wow, okay.
because I used a lot the shirts.
Sure. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've known Hafet for, geez, 5 years now,
yeah,
and
5 years.
yep. And we've done some conferences in Mexico, and we've been talking for a long time. So
Yeah.
what I wanted to just talk about a little today is just some of the e-commerce in Mexico, and I know that you're doing Vtex now, and
Oh,
uh, I would like to hear more about Vtex and your
for
experience
sure.
with Vtex.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think right now the e-commerce here in Mexico is changing. It's making a lot of changes. Why? Because for Mexico, it's a little bit expensive. Thinking about uh, not like an investment. It's thinking about just expenses. Thinking the platforms, the infrastructure. That's why I think the most of the commerce here in Mexico is turning to SaaS. In this case, Vtex is doing a really good job. Actually, I need to recognize that because I am a really big fan of Magento, but I think we need to recognize the Vtex job. Vtex is doing a very good job in order to get uh, better solutions for a lot of stuff like integrations, pretty fast integrations, uh, pretty fast support. The people is really good in order to get more information. Uh, this new version, think talking about uh, legacy to IO, is getting better results with that kind of tools for the stores. The only thing for me, in my case, in my personal opinion, is SaaS is always a deal with the IT teams. Why? Because you don't have control of the infrastructure. You don't have control of headers. You don't have control of the web server, the memory. Uh, the pretty common the pretty common comment from the customers is that the reindex is taking a lot of time in the environment, stuff like that. But I think it's the best solution. It's right now the best solution. Uh, I'm not talking bad in any way for any platform, but I think uh, yeah, Vtex is doing a very good job, very very good job.
Yeah, and I think we did have a little preliminary talk, and one of the things that people do complain about is the inability to really customize certain sections that you would like to customize, which is not always possible on a SaaS. And that's where Magento kind of shines, is you can do whatever you want to anything. And that's, I guess, it's also its weakness, is that it gets
Oh, yeah.
very expensive once you start doing those modifications, and then pretty soon you've made this website into something that's fantastic, but quite expensive to maintain.
Yeah.
I think the idea of Vtex and some of these other SaaS platforms is that the cost of ownership can be lower as well, because you're putting that burden on the SaaS provider.
Exactly. And I think that the people is not really understanding what is the real solution from this SaaS environment. So uh, I think we need to talk about the payment methods and other stuff that is dealing really is a really deal with e-commerce here in Mexico. Why? Because tools like Vtex has a pretty strict method in order to get some responses from these payment methods. And as you know, Mexico, as part of Latin America, is dealing with all the frauds, the fraudsters, the robbery from the banks, from the debit cards and all this, and this kind of platforms uh, is are they are trying to improve these processes, but I think they need to ask to the entire community about what really need in order to get best results from the payment methods, uh, for the other part, the shipping methods and the, as you said, uh, the look and feel work with the new with these new languages like React, Node.js, GraphQL, and all this about these technologies. I think makes difference, make a difference in the community, in the developers, and the needs from the companies. And for sure, uh, the way that the companies trying to attract a lot of talent in order to get your store as you need to work,
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. And I think just going back to the payment methods, uh, for Magento, the advantage is that you can add any payment method. The disadvantage is maybe that payment method doesn't exist, and then somebody's going to build it, and maybe it doesn't work that great after it's been built.
Yeah.
The disadvantage for the SaaS platform, if it doesn't exist, you have to wait for the SaaS platform to build it. But when it's built, it's going to work because there's going to be lots and lots of people using it. I think that's the biggest, obviously the biggest advantage on the SaaS side is that you have scale of economy. So you know that Bang Norte or whatever payment method you're going to use on your website is being used by 1,000 other people in Mexico. And that payment method is going to work because you know that if it doesn't work for one, it doesn't work for everybody else. So I think that's a big advantage from the SaaS side. I know that one of the big things that, so I mean, just Vtex is now entering the US market as well. And Magento is a Vtex partner now. So
awesome.
Transparency. I know one of the things that is enticing about that is the fact that they are doing an OMS, e-commerce, and marketplace all in sort of one bundle. Can you tell us a little bit about, I think people are most interested in the marketplace portion of it. Have you worked at all in that, and how has that worked?
Yeah, actually the integration with for the marketplaces and all the OMS environment, I think it's a good idea, and it's pretty easy to integrate. It's not a big deal, actually, if you have experience with APIs and all the stuff around. But I think they make the big point with this is the entire control with the warehouses and the inventory. Why? Because Vtex is not a WMS. So I think the part of the trying to integrate all the shipping methods, the logic behind these shipping methods, crossing this information with the warehouses and the inventory is good. It's like all the people asking about Magento. Magento can handle my orders, yes, for sure. Magento can handle my stock, my inventory, yes, for sure. But it's not thinking, the software is not providing that kind of solution entirely. That's why you have an ERP working behind with your WMS, your OMS, and all the stuff. But it's not a bad idea from Vtex. And talking about the OMS is good, is working really good, and the only thing in my opinion is the statuses and the way that the integration from the payment method, transaction, order, and the OMS is working. The flow is pretty easy to understand. The all the statuses in the middle is pretty easy to understand, but I think some parts of the flow are pretty generic in order to get real information in the middle, the window cancellation from the shipping, the window cancellation from the payment, and the process between handling shipping to shipping, all these statuses for the Vtex user, the Vtex company user, could be a little bit difficult to understand, and maybe could be a little difficult to manage. I got a lot of questions about where can I cancel the order, when can I invoice the order, where I can put the tracking code, the URL, you know, because thinking about the Vtex environment. Yes, it's easy if you have the experience using the environment. It's like, again, Magento is the same, but for Magento it's a little bit easy to set the tracking code, to set the URL, to set statuses if you have the experience. I think it's pretty much the same, but Vtex needs to work a little bit in order to redefine the statuses, and I think they need to be clear about these statuses and the process behind these statuses.
Okay, I have a question around just going back to the OMS. So my idea of an OMS is that it centralizes a bunch of channels into a place where you can see all the orders, right? So the OMS, I'm assuming, then supports external POS systems and retail stores, and if those POSs want to have all those orders going to one spot, is that how it works, or what is their definition of the OMS?
Exactly. The place when you centralize all the information about your orders, in the Vtex case is interesting the way that you can manage this, because you have different environments, your marketplaces, your store, the omni-channel, and the call center. It's really good because you can get all this information in the very same system, and you can handle this. But again, for me, in my experience with these different stages or environments where the orders come, is the way that you can handle the order. You can manage a marketplace order. It's really good, but you depend lots of the marketplace configuration in order to get a status change in your order in the OMS. Even if the OMS is pretty easy to manage, but you depend from the marketplace.
Okay, got it. Is it like just a level of difficulty for a merchant to wire in their POS system so it shows up in the OMS for Vtex? It's a lot of work from the tech side, or?
Yeah. It's because you need to put a fine tuning on the process. Again, you need to make some changes. The ACL needs to be really exact, because you need to check the right boxes on the permissions for in-store, for example, or for the call center, or when you need the right rights permissions on that side. And for example, for in-store, you need to change information in the JavaScript for the checkout, create the right payment methods for the in-store. And right now, for example, you need to wait because the payment methods for in this case for Mexico are not completely available. The only one is Mercado Pago, something with the card is like a clip.
Mm-hmm.
And for the rest of the world except Brazil, you need to wait, or you need to implement in store using different payment methods, promissory or cash, other different like the Brazilian
Yeah,
solution.
okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess the nice part about this is that all these pieces already come with your install of Vtex. Like the OMS comes with it, the e-commerce store comes with it.
Yeah.
So you get that out of the
Oh,
box, right?
exactly. The only thing that you need to think is about how much I will expand. I will spend with Vtex. I need to get a very good deal with Vtex in order to pay my bills with Vtex and get a very good deal with Vtex and get a very good commerce with Vtex.
This is for the licensing cost you're talking about?
So again,
You're talking about the licensing for the actual product?
the licensing, yeah, the licensing, and you know, there's more stuff around the licensing from Vtex because you need to think about your business process, your business logic. Uh, when you get the final part of the checkout and you don't think about your payment methods, for example, uh, if your payment method just authorize and not capture after the operation ends to the success page. If this operation cancels, Vtex uh, Vtex generate an invoice for this operation, but you get a bill from the bank, and maybe the bank returns the operation to the customer for the card, for the funds, whatever. And this is the part that where the commerce needs to understand what is the real process behind the checkout, behind the payment methods, and behind your deal with the Vtex.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So for when you do set up a VTech store, what is the typical time that it takes from the point in which the customers come to you to when you actually launch it? Like how long what is your average? Do you have an average on that? Or I know it depends on complications, but let's just say
Yeah, lots.
they have one store, they want to sell online. They have T-shirts. They have
Okay.
Minnesota Vikings. They just want to sell those T-shirts.
Go watch the Dallas Cowboys games and all the stuff. Yeah, for sure. And around uh, around a month, around a month. Uh, that includes, as you know, some little changes on the specific applications. For example, uh, the look and feel, payment methods, shipping methods, uh, configurations with external services, permissions, and the final quality assurance for the release. The only thing here is think about the Brazilian times, because when you need a release, go live, you need to ask to Brazil in order to release the DNS and change the domain and go live.
Okay, interesting. All right, so it's based on whatever it is, Eastern plus 1 hour or something like that, right? 2 or 3 hours
A
ahead of you.
couple, a couple. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
for Mexico,
Interesting.
it's 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 hours. Okay, good. All right, that's interesting. So I guess the underlying idea is that it goes fairly quickly,
Yeah.
and it's easy for the merchant to use. And once they're educated on it, it's fairly easy for them to use it. Yeah, good.
Yeah. And maybe you don't need an developer army to get your platform working.
Right.
Yeah, these are reality.
So just switching gears a little bit, Shopify, I know, has been gaining popularity in Mexico. Have you
Yeah,
seen competition with Shopify and Vtex yet in Mexico?
really. My opinion about Shopify and Vtex is Vtex is Shopify with steroids, you know, with a lot of pills inside. Why? Because Shopify was developed thinking on the North American market, most US and Canada. Uh, when you try to implement uh, different needs, for example, a payment method again in Shopify. I know right now Shopify has more payment methods implemented, but if you need a specific requirements like MDDs for cyber for example, it's really difficult. It's really difficult because because the system is a little bit closer than Vtex. Vtex, you can you can talk with the right people, or you can talk with the you can create a ticket with the Vtex developers, and you can get some kind of help. But with Shopify, is it's really hard to get that kind of changes. But
Yeah.
why 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 Shopify have a popularity here in Mexico is because it's easy to create an store. You have an store in 1 hour. It's and you need more time to get your products and in your template, and to put your products in the store is pretty easy. So that's why I think.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we're both thinking the same way about it. I interviewed Andrew Devlin, and
Mhm.
he said the big reason that Shopify is popular in Mexico is because they spend a lot of money on marketing in Mexico.
Exactly. Yes. They're using a lot of marketing, and the people is the people is using Shopify because that. But as Shopify, we had another all services here like kitchen and others, and that kind of services didn't work because the support, the payment methods, and all the stuff don't work as the customer needs.
Right. Okay, so just a couple last questions before we wrap things up here. And again, I thank you for your time today. So
Sure.
the easiest way to get onto Vtex would be to go through an agency, or they can just go directly to Vtex to sign up. And what do
I
you
think
recommend
that
in Mexico?
here in Mexico, I recommend to go first with Vtex because Vtex is dealing with the agencies. The agencies have a lot of experience, but if you have the support behind Vtex, you will have not just the support from Vtex, you also have the support from the agency. Uh, this is in my experience because when you get when you try to get information from any agency, all the agency will say, yes, we are the best to implement whatever what you need, and maybe you can pay for the Ferrari and you get a Volkswagen.
Right. All right. Okay. So two last questions. The first one is, I always give an opportunity for a
Sure.
shameless plug for yourself. So if you wanted to plug Space.bar or whatever, go
Oh my
ahead.
gosh, sorry, I lost you again,
You
please.
have an opportunity to do a shameless plug. You can talk about the company you're working at right now, anything you'd like to promote right now for Japhet.
Sure, but okay, so right now I am working for a Space.bar. We have experience. We have a very good team of experienced developers, and I invite to all the interested people in Vtex or know Vtex or know about solutions with Magento, with Vtex, with other platforms, be my guest. I am available at Japhet.space.bar.
Great. All right. So last question.
Sure.
I know you're still interested in Magento.
Yes.
And we're planning on doing a hackathon in next year in the winter in January. And
Awesome.
I'm just right now I'm gauging interest from people around the world. Would they be interested in going to Florida in Orlando and doing a Magento hackathon? And then the weekend you would be able to go to Disney World.
Awesome. 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 Will be
So
great.
does
Will be
that seem
great.
like a
Will
good
be great.
idea or a bad idea?
I think it's a good idea. We need to finish all this nightmare, 2020 nightmare about the pandemic and all the stuff, doing that kind of travels,
Yeah, this would
you
be
know?
2022.
Oh, no, I know, but the nightmare was in 2021, 2020.
Yeah, I know. It keeps on
That's
going.
why.
We're hoping, well, Florida is open now. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. And
yeah,
Disney
yeah,
is open.
yeah. And the kids will be really happy
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Disney World. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again for this time. And I really appreciate it. And have a great and safe week in Mexico City.
Thank you very much, Brent, and I send you a big hug to you and the entire Wagento team.
Great.